None of you work as a team! Where's the lamb sauce?
Ah, Hell's Kitchen. The show that taught us the only thing hotter than a flaming pan was Gordon Ramsay's temper. Back when reality TV was raw, loud, and actually about talent, not TikTok dances and teary confessionals. It wasn't a show, it was war.
Fuck you, you fucking bitch. Fuck oil.
A culinary battlefield where dreams and risottos went to die. Ramsay, a Michelin-starred drill sergeant with 10 espresso shots of rage and the vocabulary of a pirate on fire. But that was then. Now, it's slow-mo tears.
She's a little emotional, she's been in her head.
Staged dorm drama, and chefs who look like they wandered in from a modeling gig. Once it was about passion, now it's about screen time. Once they plated dishes, now they cry into them. So what happened? How did the most intense cooking show on TV become a parody of itself? And most importantly, where is the lamb sauce? Today we dive headfirst into the rise and glorious downfall of Hell's Kitchen US. And trust me, it's gonna get spicy. Let's roll it back to 2005. George Bush was still in the White House. YouTube had just been born. The iPhone, pure science fiction. People were watching Desperate Housewives without irony. And Boulevard of Broken Dreams was on repeat in every iPod, with that annoying little click wheel. And then Gordon Ramsay.
It's a fucking restaurant, not a sushi bar!
Already a legend in the UK, and suddenly, there he was, screaming, slicing, taking over American TV like a hurricane in Chef White's. It wasn't a quiet arrival. He showed up like a fire hose set to max power. Hell's Kitchen wasn't a cooking show. It was a war simulation with frying pans. The kitchen, a battlefield of stress and shattered egos. Season 1, it felt dangerous. You didn't know if someone was going to win or just pass out from sheer panic. And sometimes both happened. The contestants weren't influencers with certificates from some online chef academy. These were people with kitchen scars, like Elsie Ramos, the single mom who bulldozed through trained professionals using nothing but soul and homemade gravy. Or Michael Ray, the first ever winner, who turned down the grand prize on national TV.
But I now want to make you an offer.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he'd rather work under Ramsay than take a cushy title. Who does that? Someone who came to cook, not to be famous. And Ramsay, that man was at his absolute peak. Yes, he yelled. Yes, he swore like a drunken sailor with a bell pepper allergy. But there was purpose behind the madness. He'd call you a useless sack of Yankee Doodle shite and then show you exactly how to fix your raw chicken. He cared about quality, not drama, not ratings, just cook well or get out. Every dinner service was a ticking bomb. Contestants would literally collapse. In season 2, Maribel had to be carried out in an ambulance after collapsing in the middle of service. The next day, she came back, no speeches, just pure fire. In one episode, Ramsay kicked out an entire brigade because not one of them could poach an egg.
Get out! Leave me alone!
Not a single one. None of it felt scripted. It was sharp, and you could feel it from your couch. And it worked. Ratings skyrocketed. Fox had struck gold. Ramsay became just as famous in the US as he was in the UK, and Hell's Kitchen became the cooking show everyone wanted to copy. Season 4, that was the sweet spot. Editing was tight. The cast was compelling. The drama felt real. You didn't just watch to see who would win. You watched to see who deserved to. But hey, like anything left on the burner too long, it eventually starts to burn. It didn't crash overnight. Hell's Kitchen didn't explode in a fireball of bad risotto and flying lamb sauce. It simmered into irrelevance. At first you didn't even notice. A little extra dramatic music here. A monologue dragged out just a bit too long there.
Oh, the brushing the teeth. I think everything's gone in those bathrooms. We need them clean.
Then suddenly, half the episode was about someone stealing shampoo in the dorms instead of who ruined the scallops. The editing bloated, the stakes inflated. What once was raw and intense now felt like a soap opera filmed in a kitchen. Every burned steak became a national emergency. Every raised voice got the full 5-minute slow motion treatment, cue tragic piano, grayscale flashbacks, and reaction shots that felt pulled from a courtroom drama. Then came the casting shift. Gone were the scarred up sous chefs who looked like they'd been through 3 divorces and a walk-in freezer explosion. In came perfectly contoured 20-somethings who looked like they were sponsored by Ring Light. Some weren't there to make dinner, they were there to make an impression. They didn't plate dishes, they stirred the pot socially and perfected the confessional stare. The producers? Oh, they ate it up like it was Gordon's last beef Wellington. Then came season 15, the infamous walkout. A contestant quit mid-service, not because they were injured, not because they fainted, but because Gordon yelled,
I'm done.
Good dog.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
And if that wasn't enough drama, contestant Frank Calla made headlines for something worse. Sexist remarks. He claimed he wouldn't take orders from a woman and said female chefs should go back to where they came from. The backlash was immediate. Even the US Marines distanced themselves from him. And Hell's Kitchen, the show that once prided itself on grit and backbone, treated it all like a Greek tragedy. Slow zoom on the exit door. Whispered commentary from the peanut gallery. Dramatic cut to Gordon, looking like Zeus on a day off. Flashbacks, swelling violins, existential voiceovers. Let's be real, if you go on Hell's Kitchen and can't handle yelling, that's like going on Survivor and being shocked there's sand. This moment quietly cracked the illusion. The kitchen was no longer a crucible of high-stakes discipline, it was a drama incubator. Emotional fragility wasn't just tolerated, it was weaponized. Fragility made for better clips. Tears meant engagement. Outbursts meant virality. The psychological tension stopped being about food pressure and started being about manufactured meltdown.
Are you? That last fucking look at me in the eyes! Not as pissed as I am! You fucking are!
You weren't watching chefs under fire. You were watching cast members following direction. Why so emotional? Try surviving in a pressure cooker with cameras in your face, no sleep, and producers whispering, "More tears, please." And the worst part? The cooking faded into the background. Whole scenes showed zero food, just dorm arguments and diary cams. And when dishes finally appeared, it was the same old Groundhog Day lineup. Risotto, scallops, Wellington, repeat. Like the writers copy-pasted last season's script and just changed the haircuts. Each season became a formula. A soft reboot of the last. New names, same narratives, same villain arc, same redemption arc, same finale soundtrack you could hum in your sleep.
And I'm fucking out of here!
And the winners? Forgettable. You don't remember who won. Hell, they probably don't either. Somewhere along the way, the focus drifted. The chefs became background noise, and the moments took center stage. The sound bites got louder. The stakes got faker. And by the end of it, you weren't sure if you were watching a cooking show or a highlight reel with a side of scallops. But the worst was still to come. Let's revisit that question. What exactly happened to Hell's Kitchen? When did it stop being a test of skill and start being a theatrical spectacle? The answer, or at least a big part of it, lies in season 18. If you're looking for the exact moment Hell's Kitchen officially jumped the shark, it's this, season 18. The season where they brought back former contestants to compete against new ones. Redemption arc meets weird sequel energy. At first you think, okay, that could be fun. Maybe the veterans will school the newbies, show their growth. But what we got? A reality TV rerun in disguise. The veterans looked like they were reenacting their highlight reels. The newbies, background noise, like extras who showed up to the wrong show. Former contestants acted like they were on a press tour. New ones froze under the lights. The editing leaned harder than ever into manufactured drama. Zoom-ins, whispered threats, and more slow-mo than a Zack Snyder movie. We saw more tears than tomatoes. Entire episodes unfolded with barely a glimpse of what was actually plated. Gone were the kitchen shots, the breakdowns, the brutal but educational critiques. Instead, it was all emotion, all reaction, all surface. According to former contestants, many confrontations were reshot or pushed by the crew. Hell's Kitchen now felt more scripted than spontaneous. Budget cuts led to cheaper sets, fewer cooking scenes, and more time in the confessional chair. The kitchen wasn't the stage anymore, it was the waiting room. And then there's the so-called grand prize. Once the winner got to lead a real kitchen under Ramsay's name. Now, an executive chef position, with an asterisk. Take Corey Sutton, season 19's winner.
Wow, I won. I won.
The prize was to run the Lake Tahoe restaurant, but Reddit posts questioned if she ever really did. Some say she left shortly after. It raised questions, not just about her role, but about whether the prize was ever real to begin with. Hell's Kitchen became a machine, not to find chefs, but to churn out predictable content. A rerun in new packaging, same tropes, same music, same disappointed dad Ramsay moment. Where's the lamb sauce? Buried in a sea of TikToks, stitched into skits, printed on mugs, once a scream for standards, now a joke with merch. That wasn't evolution, that was extinction. And in that moment, the audience started to turn. Let's get one thing straight. The audience sees everything. They notice. The subreddit started roasting the show with every new season. YouTube is flooded with compilations titled Hell's Kitchen Used to Be Good, or This Show Fell Off. And Twitter? Oh boy. Twitter treats new seasons like a live roast session. People meme it to death. The risotto disasters, viral gold, the endlessly sobbing contestant who somehow avoids elimination, a walking gif, Ramsay's infamous idiot sandwich line.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich. An idiot sandwich.
Immortalized on t-shirts and TikToks alike. But here's the real problem. The show became aware of the memes, and instead of ignoring them, they tried to lean into them, which made it worse. It all ties into a broader phenomenon, ironic detachment. The moment a show starts performing its own parody, the audience no longer laughs with it, but at it.
I thought cold water was supposed to boil faster than hot water. What?
Hell's Kitchen began manufacturing virality. Contestants aren't just there to cook, they're there to go viral. Producers include self-aware lines. Contestants make meme-worthy faces directly to the camera, and that's the death of authenticity. When you're not cooking to win but to trend, you've already lost. Every slip-up now comes with a slow-mo montage and a soundtrack that belongs in a war movie. Someone drops a pan, insert slow-mo. Someone overcooks beef Wellington. Cue dramatic zoom, heartbeat sound effect, and a confessional monologue like they just lost a family member. It's not Hell's Kitchen, it's kitchen theater. And worst of all, the food is no longer the heart of the show. We rarely see dishes being crafted, plated, or critiqued with any substance. Feedback has morphed into one-liners. Technique buried under sound effects and smash cuts. It's less about cooking and more about creating viral content with pans in the background. Just, this is raw, plate smashed, commercial break. Even Ramsay seems distant. The chef who once pulled contestants aside for genuine moments of mentorship now floats through scenes like a grumpy ghost of his former self. There are far fewer one-on-one moments, less time spent in the dorms or kitchens giving guidance. Some fans speculate it's because he's too busy running his empire. Others think he's just tired of pretending the stakes are still real. Either way, the spark is gone. So let's return to the big question. Can Hell's Kitchen still be saved? Maybe. But only if it stops trying to be a meme factory and starts being a kitchen again. The early seasons weren't perfect, but they had purpose. Back then, the story was on the plate. Now it's in the producer's hands. What if they stripped back the overproduction? Let the food be the focus again. Let the contestants be actual chefs, not walking Instagram bios.
She's a strong leader who is totally at home in the kitchen.
And maybe, just maybe, let Ramsay be more than just a caricature of his own anger.
Give me overcooked meat. Overcooked fucking meat. His stuff in it.
Because when this show worked, it really worked. It inspired people. It made cooking feel like a gladiator sport, where every dish was a duel, every mistake a wound. It made risotto terrifying, yes, but also thrilling. And that's a beautiful thing. But now, it's background noise. A former king of reality TV now dethroned by its own formula. Once a roaring inferno, now just smoke and mirrors. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not that Hell's Kitchen changed, but that it became the very thing it once mocked. So if you're still watching, ask yourself, are you here for the food or for the fire? And is there really a difference anymore? The fire's gone out, the kitchen's closed, and all we're left with is the smell of burnt potential. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep fried dive into reality TV chaos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's free, unlike Ramsay's patience. Smash that like button like it's a raw scallop, and drop your favorite Hell's Kitchen meltdown in the comments. See you in the next episode, where hopefully no one burns the risotto again.